So yeah, tell me that that story that you saw in T2 was not a great story, a beautiful story that can't be continued again, no matter what those guys in T3 think or what that psycho called McG for salvation thinks. Um, and the thing is that um, you look at something like T2, that is just a great film in and of itself, and you look at the story, it's a really good script, it's a really good screenplay, it's a very good screenplay. And then you then look at something like Avatar, where do you really think James? I mean, how long did James Cameron really write that script? Really, that script, I think he probably wrote like in about 20 minutes, literally just as he was passing through his 4D 5D screen. I was like, okay, yeah, just let's just put it through. Because really, the story was not the thing. The selling point was the technology. And talking about the technology, here's what the problem is. In 20, 30 years' time, Avatar will be really redundant because in 20 years' time, you're going to get a film that will even have even better graphics, that will look even realer, you know. Um, so, and once you have that, then you will then be like, okay, it's not down to the story. Because again, perfect example, Final Fantasy Spirits Within. Possibly, the crown still belongs to my dear friend Terrence Malick, obviously, which is a new world. It's coming soon. Don't worry, it's coming soon. Which is the most boring film I've ever seen in my life. The second most boring film I've ever seen in my life is Final Fantasy Spirits Within. But Final Fantasy Spirits Within, if you've seen that film, the level of CGI in that film is ridiculous. There are times where it's basically real. It's there are times when I'm like, it's like if you're watching a film, like it's basically real. So as far as like CGI and quality of CGI is, it's ridiculous. It's amazing. It's also, that was made right in the 90s, and some of the CGI in that thing is better than Avatar in Spirits Within. But the film is damn boring. So nobody gave a damn about that film. And the thing with Avatar is obviously, Avatar has a whole Pandora thing and the whole magical thing and escapist thing and all that kind of stuff, which Spirits Within didn't have. And Avatar is a better film. I mean, even with its simplistic story that it's obviously stolen and borrowed, it's a better film than Spirits. Spirits Within was not a good film. Put it that way. I would not recommend that film. But with Avatar, it's like, again, you're for James Cameron, why are you doing Dances with Wolves? The James Cameron I know, and I think the James Cameron that flourishes the best is Aliens, Terminator, Judgment Day, T2000, um, what's it called, True Lies, Abyss. That's the James Cameron I know. Because for me, like the James Cameron that flourishes the best is he works in two ways. It's the Aliens, Abyss, James Cameron, and the True Lies, Terminator, James Cameron. The Titanic, James Cameron, the Avatar, James Cameron. I don't like that James Cameron. That's the sellout James Cameron. That's the James Cameron that desperately wants to be accepted. That genuinely really cares about the trash of the Oscars and the Golden Globes. You know, and I think that is where the problem lies. That's where the woob lies. Philip K. Dick. Or a book. We're reading a book. But the thing is that for James Cameron, and it is actually related to fanboys. That's the way to be like, whoa, 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 half of what it's related to fanboys. You see, James Cameron is a geek. He's a nerd. He's a quote unquote a loser. Hence why you saw, yeah, it's only a nerd and a geek that will make say, a film like Terminator. That will make like a film that is as hardcore as that, because that is a fanboy's film. And it's only a guy who will look at Alien and from a total fan's perspective, will now make Aliens, where he hustled and be writing the scripts, making a film, and then make Aliens. That's what's like a he's like a dog from his like the lowest of the low. And the thing about these people with these fan is that they want to be accepted. Like in the Comic Con, they want to be accepted. And when Cameron did Titanic, he was like, wow, I'm accepted. These guys are actually accept me as a proper guy. I'm not just this guy who does Terminator and all these very cult movies that are just strictly for guys. I'm actually accepted now, you know. And obviously now you now see with Avatar, it's like, wow, I'm even more accepted now to an even larger audience, because obviously Titanic was just women mainly, but now Avatar is like, I'm now accepted to a wider audience, you know. But the thing is this, Cameron, you can't do a Star Wars. You can't. Lucas has that on lock. As much as we hate him, Georgie Porgy Lucas has that on lock down. Okay. For Cameron is that Avatar, I'm sorry, it's going to be forgotten about. In 10 years' time, people will forget about the film. I don't care how much money they made. People will forget about it. I don't like Titanic. I don't like that film. But I can appreciate its quality. I can appreciate how well it does the romance. Even if DiCaprio annoyed me, Kate Winslet should deserve that Oscar. She gave a very good performance today. She was like she was the guy and the woman in the film. Actually, no, she was the guy in the film, and DiCaprio acted as the one. But Titanic, I can appreciate that. No, that was a good, as a romantic film set in the backdrop of like a grand thing like the Titanic. It was very good. Obviously, like there are romantic films that I like, but obviously, I just found Titanic just personally for me just not my cup of tea. But objectively, it's a good film. It's a good film, you know, and it's winning the Oscar. I'd still say Gattaca is a better film. Gattaca is a better film, but it's a good film. So I still feel it's a good film. It's a you know. But for Avatar, as a film, as a story, how good is it really? I mean, it has a very good hook with the whole thing of like this guy who's um, you know in his wheelchair because he's injured and obviously now using his legs in the other world. But it's like it's not the James Cameron that I know, and I just wish that James Cameron can go back to the James Cameron we know, like making real stuff, doing it real. Because I mean, because there's a very interesting thing that James Cameron said. I think he said this like a few years ago. He says that I don't make films for like 2 or 3 guys to watch. I make films for the mass audience. You know, and it's like for something like Terminator and T2, any every anybody can watch Terminator. Yes, it is a made in the aesthetic as a guy's film, but it's still a very enjoyable film. You know, anybody I hope can connect with Annie and the whole Annie-ness. You know, and I just feel that Jimmy Cameron, man, you can still make money making those hardcore, cold-blooded, raw films that we know that you can make, or those very sci-fi, cold, machine gun, assault rifle, Halo-esque films that we know that you can make. You know, because this whole Avatar 2 and Avatar 3 thing, Lost in Pandora, I don't know what James Cameron's doing, man. I mean, I feel that he's lost, and I feel that he's wasting his talents in this path that he has taken on. Personally, I don't want another Terminator. Nor do I want another Aliens. I want a new James Cameron concept in the vein of either a Terminator or an Aliens. That's what I want. That's what I want.